You might like Man of Steel, but here's a bunch of people who hated it. Garbage that makes Superman Returns watchable. Thanks, Zack Snyder. Technically, everything's watchable, even if it's bad or awful or whatever. It's not like you're watching a movie and you're gonna get AIDS from it. Although it'd still be watchable, you'd just have AIDS. This video's off to a great start.
I wanted this movie to be way better than it was. I'll sum it up like this. Superman thinks S stands for hope. Yup. That's not even negative. That's just what the Superman symbol stands for. That's not even a bad thing. Like, this donut shop is terrible. I'll sum it up like this. They have donuts.
Remember when Superman saved people and was a hero? Zack Snyder doesn't. Who doesn't know that? I mean, I understand it's a little uncharacteristically violent than normal, but he kind of saved an entire planet even though he destroyed a city, which is questionable at best, but still trying to be heroic. So, he tried.
I've accidentally deleted my review for this movie twice now, so I'm going to keep this one short. Okay.
Bit of a disappointment, but hey, it's Superman. That's a f***ing backhanded compliment if I've ever heard one. It's the story of my life. Just can't make anyone happy. But I try.
Not a bad movie, but there must have been hundreds, maybe thousands of casualties with all that destruction. No blood, no disfigured bodies, in fact, not that much panic and screaming. No wonder Batman's pissed. Man. It's more for the rating system. It would be really awful if... we already had a really violent Superman movie with this. It would be really awful if it involved just tons of blood and dismemberment. Jesus. And by Jesus, I don't mean Superman, even though Zack Snyder made that parallel. By Jesus, I mean Jesus.
This movie was so boring. I give it a 1.5 stars for Henry Cavill's hotness. Where'd the other star go? Did you change your mind? There's only a 0.5 star. Are you over your Henry Cavill masturbatory material now? Even if you did give it 1.5 stars, that's a lot for just someone being attractive, or not enough.
Superman movie that makes me want antidepressants. He was fighting General Zod. I'm done.
This deserves 1 star for whoever made Superman an emo who's all like, oh my god, accept me please. In this universe where it's all emo brooding. Batman is supposed to be the only dark character and they make him so horrible in such a flick. Man, no one can do math. It's a 0.5 star on this. Not 1 star. How many people in their life actually have had an emo phase, even if they didn't dress that way or anything? Superheroes are also allowed. They can't be perfect all the time.
0.5 star for hotness, 0.5 star for emo. 1 star. Hey guys, this movie's good. Just look, there's Russell Crowe. Oh, I mean it justifies the 2.5 hours. No? Oh, well at least Hans Zimmer did the score. It seems like a pretty big insult if the only way you can enjoy the movie is closing your eyes and listening to the music. Well, it would have been a much cheaper movie. All movies from now on will be podcasts.
Too much too little ploring. Suffers particularly against Superman starring Christopher Reeve. Either you or your keyboard had a stroke. Man, that hurt a lot.
It somehow managed to be even worse than I was expecting, and my expectations were low. Oh. So it's like going to a movie festival in Alabama.
A gay romp with soups. Man, you can take that a few ways. But going with your 1 star rating, I'm assuming you're meaning it negatively and not happy. Or just meaning gay. Lois is gonna be disappointed.
The first few times I watched this, I loved it. Then after that, I slowly started to realize how boring Man of Steel really is. I definitely would not recommend this. If you want to see a company that knows what they're doing, stick to Marvel. So you enjoyed a movie a few times? and then like came to a sudden realization that it was boring. It could also have become boring because you saw it a 4th time. That can happen. Some movies just don't have that kind of replay value. Also, how far in between watching it did you take some time? Because if you didn't take enough time, then yeah, it'll definitely be boring as hell. Like if you watched it, then watched it, then watched it, then had a sandwich, and then watched it, that time after the sandwich would be pretty f***ing boring.
Ha 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 ha, no. Okay.
Good enough for you. If I wanted to see video game cutscenes, I would have just played Superman 64, laughing my ass off. I mean, the joke is that video games try to emulate movies. Most of the time, they're made because there were movies. So, you know, I guess it makes sense to compare the graphics of Superman 64 to the graphics of Man of Steel is kind of ridiculous. That's like comparing a Monet to a finger painting done by a child who is blindfolded and is missing 7 fingers.
I actively rooted for Zod to kill everyone. That's how unlikable Snyder made his character. I wanted them to die, which would signify that the movie is mercifully over, or your view on life and humanity in general. Also, Zod would have to kill himself, and who knows where that goes from there. Call someone.
Can't wait to review Batman v Superman v Wonder Woman v Flash v Aquaman v Doomsday v Lex Luthor. I have 100% faith in Zack. He really understands Superman. Man of Steel is perfect. It has a really believable love story. Great 2-hour action scene, which personally I felt was too short. A great soundtrack. There is no way Marvel can beat this with terrible movies like Iron Man, The Avengers, and Captain America Winter Soldier. Ew. Overall, just felt like a Superman movie. A sarcastic review. Man of Steel sucks. Search your feelings, you know it to be true. First of all, I've noticed that it's really hard to be sarcastic via texting. You can't type sarcasm. So what ends up happening is you explain your joke, which makes your joke not funny. It never works. Explaining your joke can only work if you're like Mel Brooks and it becomes a thing. You know what? You don't have a thing, and your thing sucks if you do. You stupid, sucky thing guy. Yeah.
So bad it killed some of my brain cells. Or you're an alcoholic and need an excuse. Call someone.
Second impression. Yeah, it's bad. Zack Snyder, stop making your fanboyish dreams more embarrassing than they are. That implies that your first impression was it was bad. At least you tried it twice. I feel like most people should try things twice, unless you know for sure that you won't like it. Like a gay romp. But I mean, if you're curious about sushi, you know, give it another go. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell right next to it. Also, if you want to see another video from us, click on one of the ones on the screen. And until we see you next time, geek out and game on.